Hey guys, it is Nick,
And Chris.
and we're just going to start playing some games to prepare for CrossRoads, which is this upcoming September. So we whipped out our Skaven and Orcs and Goblins, and we made 2,500 point lists. This is going to be more of a challenge for me because I usually don't make competitive tournament style lists where Chris usually does. However, today he went a little silly and bought a different list.
I tried something new to see if I would like it, and
So
I don't think I'll ever be. But we'll talk about that later.
all right, so let's. If I remember, I'll put a link into the Crossroads comp situation in the comments section. However, we're just going to dive right into this game, and then, of course, any constructive criticism from you guys and/or opinions or comments, I'm going to start generating an idea of what I want to do for my list, so then I could keep it solid and then paint it. Chris, you can see, obviously has a lot more to paint than I do.
Yeah. I know.
All right, so I'll go through my list quick. I went Grey Seer Bell with a Scalm and a Scroll, Chieftain BSB with a Halberd and the 5-up board save, Plague Priest with Furnace and Preservation and a Flail, Chieftain with a Halberd, an Assassin, an Engineer with a Doom Rocket, and then a regular Engineer. 35 slaves, so I cut down from my normal 50. 180 clan rats with shield, no spear with a command and a warp fire thrower. 3 giant rat darts. 30 plague monks with the plague banner and a command. 2 doom wheels. You'll see the one all the way out right to the corner. I'm proxying it until I get it and assemble it. 1 hell pit abomination and 90 points in the lightning cannon. That comes out to exactly 625 points, so I maxed out rare, which is great. And a bunch of the heroes are in the Bell unit, so it's not in a wide horde formation. I'm just going, small, and have all the heroes take up the space or whatever. So, Chris, your list?
My list, as my phone turns off, my list is a Lord Orc Great Shaman with a Dispel Scroll, a Knight Goblin Great Shaman level 4, for heroes, I have a regular Goblin Big Boss with the Spider Banner. That's the Poison Banner. I have 9 Night Goblin Big Bosses with an extra hand weapon. One of them has the Terrifying Mask of E, which is the mask that gives you terror, and one of them also has the Crown of Command. I think it's called the Crown of Command. The Stubborn Crown, whatever it is. And then a regular Night Goblin Shaman, level 1. I have 40 Savage Orc Biggins with a banner. 50 Night Goblin Archers with nets, which I totally forgot about in the game.
Yeah.
And a banner, and then 3 Fanatics. 35 Black Orcs plus a banner plus the standard discipline. And then 2 Doom Divers, 2 Rock Lavas, and another new thing I was trying was the Pump Wagon. So those chariots there are proxied as Pump Wagons.
So, if you thought you heard incorrectly, that is Goblin Archers.
Yes, even though they're spearmen.
With heroes in there. I'm just curious to see what people are going to say about that.
We'll talk at the end of the video.
Okay, all right, cool. So let's go into turn 1. Let's do deployment quick. So Doom Wheels on the outside, Hell Pit Abomination near the forest, the Rat Darts to just take up deployment. The Warp Fire Thrower in front of the Bell unit to stop any lunges forward, but also for any counter shots. Pretty standard deployment. And for yourself?
I put the Black Orcs in the middle just because I want the general in the middle, and I was going to put my Shaman with that unit. I also threw the Night Goblins in there. Just so you see, the Night Goblins do have the 9 heroes. The Night Goblins have the 9 big bosses in them, along with the Spider Banner in there as well. And then I put the Savage Orcs off to the side, thinking that I could come across and sweep right through the middle. But my first roll with a Pump Wagon was interesting. So we'll see what happens there. And also I put the level 1 Shaman on the side because it rolled a spell that really wasn't going to matter in the middle of the field. So I figured I would just throw it over there to protect the Savage Orcs from being kited off the board.
Yeah, those Savage Orcs are pretty far over there. So
yeah.
All right. Plague Priest got Corruption. Seer got Plague. Wither, Blessed with Filth, and 13th. Level 1 Shaman got Itchy. Shaman 4 got Vindictive. Spider God, Night Shroud, Curse of Bad Moon. Orc level 4 caster got Fists, Hand, Here We Go, and Foot. So for Skaven turn 1, I got really bad random move rolls. Where are we? Essentially, the bells didn't go anywhere and nor did the Hell Pit Abomination, which is, I guess, at the end of the day, not a big deal. So I go with Plague on the Goblins. The first, was it Plague?
Yeah, I think you went with Plague. I don't know.
No, that's it. No, Plague was round 2. All right, so I essentially went for. Oh, I needed to cast something, so I was gonna do. I did Blessed with Filth on the Plague Monks just to get that out. So I figured I'd roll 3 dice with Winds of Magic. I rolled, I think, a 9, so I was able to have 6 dice over for the Dread 13. With 3 dice on Blessed with Filth, I actually rolled a miscast.
That's right.
Which I get it off, so now my Plague Monks have poison, which is great and all, but I lose all my power dice and like 15 giant rats drop off because when you roll, I think it's a 6, it's everyone touching the caster and everyone touching the bell is like 15 guys, so all those guys drop, and that was it really. The Doom Rocket went awesome. You can see here it just dropped right on top of all those guys. I did 5 dice, so it went pretty good. Knocked out like what? How many guys?
15, 20, something like that.
Yeah, something crazy. The hell cannon, the lightning cannon misfires and actually rolls right into the plague furnace at large disc. So I end up like killing, I don't know, 14 guys, which really hurt. So that unit's already down. So Orcs and Goblins, turn 1.
The first thing that happens is compulsory move. Everybody passes animosity, and my first ever roll with the pump wagons as I was testing them, I pumped harder because I wanted to get up there and get in the face of the giant rats and stuff so that they couldn't kite the savages and as well as the doom wheel. I pumped harder, 46, and they turned around and smacked into my savage orcs because it failed because it rolled 2 1s. So it took off 5 savage orcs, I think, in the end. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. So I wasn't all too happy with the pump wagons on turn 1. But after that, I think I casted foot. Yeah, I casted foot, and you scrolled foot.
Yeah.
And then
You tried to cast something else, but I had all mine.
I tried to give my unit poison, and you dispelled it.
Yeah. Did you shoot that turn with the bows?
No.
No?
Maybe I did.
I'm pretty sure you did. You killed a bunch of slaves.
Oh, I did. I killed a bunch of slaves. That's right.
Yeah.
I did do it.
Because the bell was out of range.
Yes.
All right, cool. So Skaven turn 2. Compulsory moves. I'm pretty sure everything moves up a little bit. The pump wagon gets hit by the doom wheel, which is nice. And then what I do in movements is I bring the engineer out to just bait the night goblins. So they came out. One of them misses. The second one hits him, but only does 1 wound. And then the third one falls short. So essentially, the engineer's still there.
It's like a line dance in the middle of the field with flails and.
Right. And then essentially, I don't know what you guys want to say about this, if anyone has any feedback, but my engineer didn't complete his movement phase, so I just had him touch one and then killed it. So that was the end of that. In this shot, you can see the Doom Wheel moved all the way up, and the Hell Pit Abomination and the Doom Wheel on the far right behind the forest is fighting the Pump Wagon. And everything else just backs up or tries not to really get in the way. I move back the dart to the left so that caster could be the closest target. Yeah. What is this shot? I just see a flame template. I don't even know. All right. So I do plague onto the goblins and kill a bunch of them and do wounds to like a bunch of the heroes. So a bunch of them already have 1 wound left. Then it bounces to the black orcs and kills a bunch of them, which is awesome. 13 black orcs drop. And then I roll 1 and he passes it on to the hell pit, but nothing happens. And then no panic tests failed. And then what else happens? I believe the Doom Wheel shoots at that hero and kills him. The Doom Wheel over here fails its not to shoot test and rolls a misfire and does wounds to itself. It does 3 wounds to itself, so that's kind of scary. The flame template goes ahead and kills a couple guys. Nothing too crazy. I kill the pump wagon, which is nice. And yeah, that's it. So orc turn 2.
Move up a little bit, pretty much.
Well, let's go over the compulsory.
Oh, God. I forgot about this. Oh, so the compulsory for the fanatics sent one fanatic through the Black Orc unit, and then sent the other fanatic through the Night Goblin unit.
So they just go flying backwards.
They just go flying backwards. Absurd. So then my pump wagon turns around, and it charges the Doom Wheel, which is a good situation for the pump wagon. I actually like that. That was good for me. So that was cool. And then I used my magic phase to cast Vindictive Glare on his flamethrower, which killed it. Barely, by the way. That's besides the point. With like 8 wounds, I actually... With like 8 hits, I got 1 wound on it.
Vindictive allows armor save, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's so I got armor, and then I got my ward save for being within range of the parent unit.
And then the Night Goblin Shaman, then the Night Goblin Great Shaman, then casted Curse of the Bad Moon. The small level, because I only had a few dice left, across the board diagonally towards the Plague Monk unit. I got a really good roll where I hit I think 13 of the clan rats, or 13 slaves rather, and then rolled over and landed right on top of the Plague Monk, so it passed through, so what was only actually 1 Plague Monk turned into, 6 or 7, which was great. So I rolled really, really well, and I was happy with it. And then I rolled the characteristic test, because I rolled the level where I didn't get to choose the characteristic test, and of course, the one that you don't want against Skaven, the initiative test, is the one that he had to take, and, initiative 4 versus a strength test, which is, 3.
Right.
Right, so
and
it was...
The initiative is a little bit lower on the Plague Monks, but I still think I did all right.
It's still not, yeah, so...
Yeah, plus I get the ward save, the magic res, which I don't think I even rolled for.
Oh, I don't think you rolled for magic res.
Whatever.
Okay.
Hand gets dispelled, right?
Yeah, then hand gets dispelled that turn.
So,
So I was trying to hand a Gork my Savage Orcs to the middle of the field, because after they got... they got stopped the first turn because of the pump wagon. So my idea of getting them across the field was delayed, so I tried to hand them across the field, and he dispelled it.
Right. Yep, so that was pretty pivotal, so... Doomdiver?
Doomdiver kills a...
Doom Wheel.
Kills the Doom Wheel, yeah.
And then the other Doom Wheel?
The other Doom Wheel runs away. It actually loses in combat, and then I chase it down. I think on your 3 dice, you rolled like a 1-1 and a 2.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But knowing the way I was rolling this game, and only needing a 1-1 and a 1 to fail, I kind of was expecting a 1-1 and a 1. But I didn't get it, see, so I got him. So yay, happy fun time.
Awesome. Skaven turn 3. I finally rally those rats that are just kind of running around the battlefield. The ones that got shot by the Doom Wheel, like turn 1, that I didn't tell you about. I essentially moved them so that they were closest to the Doom Wheel, not the Hell Pit. Because if I fail a regen save and I decide to do D6 wounds on my own guy, it's just a disaster. So I'm glad he did that on the giant rats, but that was like turn 1. With my movements, I left the giant rats to the left to just, whatever, they're a free gift to Chris for getting charged by the pump wagon. I kind of position these guys here so that if he can't squeeze through to get the bell unit, but he'll front charge the slaves, and then I could either flank or front charge the heroes depending on how they're lined up. In Magic, both Wither and Plague are dispelled. I was kind of wither the Goblin unit and then Plague them, so I can kill them really easily. But Chris dispels both of those. Nothing really crazy. The Hell Pit goes into combat, but I mean, I kill a couple guys, but nothing too crazy. No. I told Chris he should reform, so he's in, and then he's like, I can't reform because I hit a goblin fanatic behind him, so that was kind of funny.
The conversation was pretty funny. You need to reform. No, I'm not going to reform. Why wouldn't you reform? Because if I reform, I hit the damn fanatic. It was pretty silly. Yeah. Which ends up rolling through the unit on the next turn anyway, so I may as well just have done it.
But rolls through it in a way that he doesn't hit the Hell Pit. Rolls through it in a way that it
doesn't hit the Hell Pit by a good,
Yeah, so that's Orc turn 3. And then The Savage Orcs.
Savage Orcs fail animosity this turn, too. The only animosity fail of the game, I've been telling you that they got hit by the pump wagon the first turn, they moved up their full movement, and then they fail animosity. And at this point, I was very fed up. You know.
I guess,
but
Black Orcs get crushed at this point.
Yeah, the Black Orcs lose Avalanche of Flesh.
Yeah,
pretty much.
buddy.
Yeah, 9 wounds or whatever.
Yeah,
melts
and then
the unit, and I lose the Shaman, too.
He runs into the Spear Chucker or whatever.
Yeah, which never even actually resolved.
Yeah.
That's besides the point.
The heroes eat the slaves. All those heroes.
Oh, and your Warp Lightning Cannon killed 5 Savage Orcs, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Warp Lightning Cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I love
the
small...
If you forgot to see the...
Yeah, the small template. I don't think I took a photo of that.
No.
Yeah, then these guys in combat eat the slaves, which is nice.
Yeah, so the Night Goblins in combat, that unit... we're going to talk about that unit a little bit at the end, I guess. But it does pretty well for the combat. So then I actually get Hand of Gorkoff, move the Savage Orcs to the middle of the field, where I can use them somewhat rather than them sitting in the corner, because now that the Goblins are over there, there's no place for them. That's not where the Goblins were initially going to go. It's just that the second the Savage Orcs got stopped on turn 1, I had to make the decision to send them that way. So I moved them over. I know he's got chaff there, but it's the decision I had to make with them to get them into get them into the action.
Yeah, the chaff's just there to make them overrun and get hit by plague monks or whatever.
Because my logic at this point is it's nice. I have 30 of them left. It's a lot of attacks. And to be honest, nothing on this board besides the Hell Pit really scares me with them. I can kill the little plague monks that are left. The Screaming Bell unit is nowhere near as intimidating it is with 50 attacks coming at it. So I was like, okay, let's put them in the middle of the board and let's go for it.
Right. I think they should have been in the middle to begin with. Well, let's close the game off, I guess.
Well, the terrain was...
Yeah. So essentially, to end the game, I roll the Dreaded 13th onto the Savage Orcs and kill 21 of them. So at that point, it's just like, all right, screw it.
21 of 30, I just scooped.
So going back to this initial deployment picture, I think you lost in deployment, which is usually how it goes.
It's usually how
if
it
you
goes.
Win in deployment, then I get crushed.
Now, here's what happens, though. I don't mind my decision to put the Savage Orcs where they were. I know it's not necessarily the best decision. With those, with certain impassables in there, it was difficult to decide where to put certain things. I wanted my caster in the middle. I liked the idea of bringing the Savage Orcs through the middle to take, because where the Night Goblins were was ambiguous. I don't think you knew where they were going to go.
No.
You didn't know which way they were going to go.
I'm assuming they were going to go through the middle, in between the building and the impassable terrain, just based on the fact that if they went to the other side with the Black Orcs, it would both be fighting the Plague Monks.
My initial plan was to do that. My initial plan was to shift down and go that way. But then the Savage Orcs got hit on turn 1. So I was just like, well, that's not going to work anymore. Because now he has enough turns to, if he even wants to.
So if they both went right towards the forest and the Plague Monks, then the Savage Orcs would have kept the Bell unit from coming around to flank.
Yeah, it would have kept them in check for, basically you would have tied up those 2 units, and I could have focused... Well, that's the other thing. We didn't really talk about my shooting in this game, too. We really neglected my shooting, and the reason is it was not impactful at all. A lot of the Doom Diver shots didn't do anything to the... And Skaven's a tough army for a lot of my shooting, because of the regen on the Hell Pit, so the direct hits are nice, but...
Oh, you got so many direct hits.
I did, but I got you just save every one. You regen save the wound, and I never got the D6 wounds.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll forgive you someday. But it's tough because, the Doom Divers are really great against elite armies with the no armor saves and the strength 5. And the center of the stone lava is awesome, but certain things, it wasn't having it for me today. I wasn't hitting as much stuff as I needed to.
Right. What about putting the Savage Orcs in the building? Then they could just popped out.
Well, that building was within 12 inches of the deployment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have done that.
Yeah. I mean, that would have just gotten you closer sooner.
Yeah, I could have done that. That's a mistake on my part, but I also don't think if I ever went to a tournament, that would be within 12 inches.
Right, that's true.
Of deployment.
Or
in that
it would either
spot.
it would either be in deployment or outside deployment, not like that.
Yeah.
But
all the way off
The thing that we did to ourselves today was rush it, though, because we're not going to have all our sweet time in a tournament. Cause,
we gave ourselves a 2-hour time limit, which we went over because we're not used to this whole...
Because usually we just chill back, have
Giggle.
some drinks if we can, and just chill. But, so I also got a lot of lucky rolls for shooting and magic, but, that's Skaven, though. You could go totally... I mean, the first half of the game, me and Chris were killing ourselves with our magic and our animosity and our warp lightning cannons.
We were killing ourselves.
It was really a game against ourselves for the first couple turns.
Killing ourselves.
So.
And then, so you want to talk about what you liked? Are we at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we're about 20 minutes in, so I guess we'll spend like 2 or 3 more minutes. You can go first.
So 40 Savage Orcs, pretty much always going to happen. I like it. 40 Savage Orc Biggins. With the Biggin rule, and I'm going to talk about this in a video you're going to be seeing in a few days, all things Orcs and Goblins. I talk about some special rules. Savage, for those of you who don't play Orc and Goblins, there is a Biggin rule that the Orcs and Goblins have, where they can upgrade 1 unit in the army of Orcs to a Biggin, which is a per point cost, and every unit that can upgrade to a Biggin has a different characteristic increase. For the Savage Orcs, it gives them +1 strength, +1 weapon skill, and +1... actually, it's just +1 strength, +1 weapon skill. So it gives them +1 strength. So they go up to weapon skill 4 and strength 4 for 2 points a model, which is silly good. So when you have that, it's either them or regular Orc boys, and most of the time you're going to do it on the Savage Orcs. So I think the Savage Orcs are always going to be a staple in any army that I play. I like the Black Orcs. I'm starting to put my Shamans in Black Orc units now because I'm tired of failing Animosity on turn 1 with the Savage Orc and then just not getting a magic phase. It's very frustrating. I think you're going to see me do that. I think I need to find a way to incorporate a Shrunken Head in the game, though, again. I don't know how.
That's tough. Only the caster could take it?
Only the caster. I could take a regular level caster, but it's still 100 points for him because he's 50 points plus the 50-point item.
Right.
I think he's 50 points. I want to say he's 50 points. I don't know how I feel about this Goblin unit. Nick and I were talking about it. I think it may be misplayed in the list. I also think the tournament we're going to, one of the major comp rules for me is at 60 characters or 60 models unit. It says 60 man-size models.
Right.
So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, whatever.
But nonetheless, so it's 60 cap. So I think that unit of Night Goblins with the 9 big bosses and all the poison, so it has the short bow shots, is a good defensive unit if you have 100 of them. I like the 100 of them, but you can't. It's only 60. Because, if you think about it, how many wounds did you do to knock me down to 2 ranks?
Mm-hmm.
If I had 4 more ranks,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think that unit is good if you're playing defensive Orcs and Goblins, which means lots of Night Goblins and lots of Fanatics and all that stuff. I feel like you've got an offensive/defensive army, and I feel like that's what kind of... I don't know, that's just my take on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Overall, I think biggest thing for me is I need to play more offensively every game, and I tell myself every game, and then what do I do, Nick?
You play defensively,
you
don't rush up fast enough.
I don't rush up fast enough.
Yeah.
And I think I like the pump wagons, though. What do you think about the pump wagons?
They're cool.
The chariots.
Yeah, let's play with them more.
Yeah, I like the pump wagons. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to go back to my squigs. We were talking about that too.
Yeah. For my list, Double Doom Wheel is cool, but just didn't really help against this army. I mean, there was no big monsters, and I mean the pump wagons weren't that hard to kill. I mean, at least the one. But the one that I got charged by the pump wagon, I got screwed, so I just got to be able to protect them. The help hit's always great. I don't know if I'm going to keep Bell and the Plague Furnace. I got to figure out if I drop the Furnace and just take more infantry. I don't know.
I think dropping the Furnace would be what you drop, of course.
I don't know. I want to drop the Assassin. He did crap because the unit didn't see combat, but I don't know. I feel like the one thing I'm struggling with is I don't have enough output once these units get into combat, and the Wrecker Ball and the hero on top with his 5 attack with the flail or whatever, it's just worth it, I guess, or 4 attack with the flail. And then it gives the unit magic res, and it gives the unit unbreakable. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I got to drop some points elsewhere and make the units bigger, but I'll have to decide that once I actually play a game where they get into combat and they get destroyed. Mm-hmm. So maybe next time around, once the Bell and Furnace units see combat, we'll have to make a decision because I don't know how well those heroes are going to do in combat. So, but Yeah, so that's all I gotta say. So we'll start tweaking our lists a little bit more. I'm gonna see, what to do with this. I did use a lot less slaves. I'm gonna see if that's worth it or not. So
You're gonna see me probably go back to more standard stuff.
let's do
Get
it.
my chaff back and maybe try with the squig herds again. I think because I pretty much dropped them for no apparent reason.
Well, we gotta get those models too.
Yeah, well, the models are a pain in the butt. That's a whole nother story.
Alrighty, so comments, questions, of course, list them below. We'll respond to everything, and thanks for watching. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.